Hi everybody, we're here from Isle Labradoodles today, and we're doing a 3-week update on these beautiful large mini Australian Labradoodle puppies. So we're going to go through each of the puppies and let you know a little bit about the puppies, what they've done over the past week, what their weights are, and then we'll give you a little overview of the litter itself and how Laynee is doing. So these puppies, as I said, are 3 weeks old. We're actually cheating a little bit. They're not going to be 3 weeks old for another couple of days, but Reynold, the videographer of the family, is going out of town, so we had to do it a couple of days early. So let's get started with the puppies, and we're going to start today with Black Collar Girl. Hello, sweetheart. Now, at 3 weeks old, these puppies have had their eyes open for a week now, but their ears are still not open. And while we go through the video today, you may see that some of them start to look at me while I'm talking. And then that is just what Black Collar is doing. She's looking around. And if you notice that they're looking and giving some eye contact to me, that's an indication that their ears are probably starting to open and they can hear my voice. If they're not looking at me, then their ears are still sealed shut. So normally we don't expect their eyes to open until they are 3 weeks or a little bit past 3 weeks. So some of the puppies may be able to hear a little bit, sort of a muted sound I would expect, and others are still not hearing anything. But they are able to see, they are walking around quite a bit more, and they're up on all fours. And little Black Collar Girl here, she's one of the quiet puppies in the litter. We haven't heard her voice yet. She's always very content with how everything's doing. She doesn't fuss around much, and she's never mad at mom or yelling at her saying, "Hey, I think it's time to feed me." And she's a beautiful red girl with this gorgeous big black nose. And then she has this pretty white on her chest. And then she also has these really adorable white tipped toes. So she's just a beautiful little girl. And Black Collar is coming in at 922 grams this week. Just a really great weight for her. So that's our little Black Collar Girl. Next, we're going to take a look at Yellow Collar Girl. And Yellow Collar Girl is one of the most interestingly marked puppies in this litter. So we have been calling her a wild agouti, which is what we suspect that she is, but she may also be a chocolate sable. And sable and agouti are the A gene, the A loci for dogs. It's a tricky one, and there's many different opinions on it and so many different terms that are used to describe this color. So it's difficult sometimes because you'll hear different people calling this color and this pattern by different terms. But you can see that her beautiful brown is coming through. It's a caramelly kind of brown, but she still has a very predominant black stripe down her back. And that black stripe is usually indicative of sable coloring. It is part of the agouti gene that we were speaking about. And some people may even call this a seal color. But I'm just going to call her our really pretty little wild agouti girl. She's a beautiful girl. She is such a calm puppy. She is the one who is upside down pretty much all the time. Being upside down is a Labradoodle trait, and she has it in spades. She is forever sleeping upside down, or even if you come to pet her, she will roll over already to get her tummy rubbed. It's really quite adorable. Hey, sweetie pie. And Yellow Collar Girl weighs 931 grams. There you go, sweetie pie. And I didn't look like she had her ears open either. Next, we're going to do Orange Collar Girl, and she is way over here. Hey, baby. Oh, sorry there. Did I give you a little bit of a squish? And Orange Collar Girl, well, now this is the talking one in the litter. She does not hesitate to let you hear her voice. And now you see she's giving me quite a bit of eye contact there right away. So I suspect that her ears probably are open a bit. And no doubt that's why she's using her voice so much, because she can hear herself. Now, Orange Collar Girl is a beautiful dark red color, and she has the very pretty black nose. And then she has her tiny little white blaze up here. She has just a little smidge of white there and one back foot that has a little bit of white on it. But she is primarily a solid colored girl and a very beautiful girl. But as I said, she does talk. She does not hesitate to let her feelings be known. And that's just great. We love to see that zest for life in one of our puppies. And Orange Collar Girl weighs 810 grams this week. That's a good girl. And next we're going to take a look at Brown Collar Girl. Now, Brown Collar Girl, as you can see, is doing this classic Labradoodle upside down pose. Now, what this is and what this tells us is this puppy is totally relaxed, has all the security in the world, and has absolutely no fear. I love to see a litter where we have a lot of puppies who are upside down. And this litter, this is a very common pose for us to find our puppies in. It's great. It means that Laynee is giving them all the security and comfort they need to feel entirely at ease. And that's just great, because the best way to be brought up is as a happy, content little puppy. So Miss Brown Collar Girl is our chocolate puppy in the litter, and she's also looking at me, so she may be able to hear. She doesn't speak much yet. She has a few grunts and groans, but no whines or complaints. She's usually in about the middle of the pack. She's not too outgoing, but she's not entirely shy or laid back. She's just right in the middle and beautifully balanced. And you can see she has a little bit of white on her chest as well. And she too has that back right foot with a little bit of white on it. Seems to be a theme in this litter. And you can see how much she enjoys having her head rubbed. She's going to turn her head right over. And you may be able to see right along the side of her collar here that she has some pretty red highlights. Now, the other thing we can show you on this little girl is right here, how you can see that her fur is coming up. So what we refer to as Labradoodle breeders, that's what we call lifting. Her coat is starting to lift. And what that means is the coat is starting to come in and become full and develop into that beautiful fluffy look that Labradoodles have and are so coveted for. And it's also will be her first little waves. Well, if you look at her coat on the back here, you can see that there's a couple of little ripples, and those are waves that will be in her coat. So she's going to have a really beautiful coat. And Brown Collar Girl weighs 930 grams. Yes. And I don't know if you could hear her there if she was close enough to my microphone, but she was making some of her famous Brown Collar Girl grunts. Hey, sweetie. That's my girl. Oh, and if you can see now, you'll see Yellow Collar Girl is trying to be upside down, and beside her is Silver Collar Boy, and he's doing another classical Labradoodle pose, which is these frog's legs, as I call them, where they stick their hind legs right out. They have the most funny positions. It's really quite fun to look at. And we're going to look at Silver Collar Boy next, so we'll just let Yellow move out of the way here so we can get to him. Hey, buddy. And if I hold him like this, you can see how beautifully marked he is. He has almost all white underneath, all the ways up through to his chin, then coming up over his nose, onto his head, spilling out over onto his collar a bit. And then he even has some white under his tail, and of course a white tip tail. Okay, sorry. He says, oh, I didn't really want to do that. And then he has these beautiful 4 white paws. He really is a beautifully marked little boy. And he is a chocolate, and he may be a sable, but I think what he is what we call a dilute chocolate. So Trip, his daddy, is a dilute chocolate, and that just means his chocolate is going to be very light, and it will lighten up as time goes on. It won't stay as dark as this, I wouldn't expect. Now again, he has a little bit of a different pattern, and one of the ones that's also got many different terminologies depending on who you're talking to, but he is pretty much a tuxedo pattern boy. And technically speaking, his white on his feet should go up to his knees so that they're socks, not just feet. And he should have more white around his collar. That would make him for sure a perfect tuxedo. So maybe he's just wearing a suit. But either way, he's adorable and he looks really terrific and we just love him. He is a super relaxed boy. He is upside down, he's content, he never utters a complaint and he's just like, okay, whatever's happening, I'm good with that. And Silver Collar Boy is the largest puppy in the litter and he weighs 946 grams. Now, Silver Collar Boy was the last dog born in the litter, and it's unusual for the last puppy to be the biggest puppy. Quite frequently, the last puppy is the smallest puppy because they're the farthest up in the uterine horn while they're being made, and they don't sometimes get quite as many groceries while they're in utero as the puppies farther down the horn do. But clearly, he didn't have any problem with that because he is a really nice, good size. And you can see he's going to fall over and go upside down. He's just a doll. And next we're going to take a peek at Light Blue Collar, which is over here. Come here, sweetie girl. Now, Light Blue Collar, this is a beautiful puppy. Her coat is so shiny that she just gleams. You can practically see yourself in her beautiful color. She is an adorable girl, and she has the prettiest head. She has the absolute exact type of head that we want to see in a Labradoodle. It's nice and blocky and square and very lab-like in its appearance, and then she has this really terrific short little stubby nose. And she has a nice good stop, which is right here, that sets her face off so beautifully. And she is just a happy little puppy. She too gets along with everything, doesn't really have too many complaints about life. Things are pretty good, and I'm pretty sure that her ears are working already because she does give me a lot of eye contact. Eye contact rather, not content. And Light Blue Collar weighs 897 grams. There you go, sweetie pie. And last but not least is Green Collar. And here we have Yellow Collar again splaying herself out. She has one of her hind legs over top of Green Collar. It's like she has no bones at all, I swear. That dog is just the most relaxed puppy I think I've ever known. She just flops wherever. And now here's our beautiful Miss Green Collar girl. And Green Collar is a lovely red with that big black nose. And then she has this lovely white on her chest. And then she has the beautiful white blaze. And again, the back right foot. They all have the back right foot with a little tiny bit of white on it. Now, Green Collar Girl is also one of the talkers in the litter. She may be one of the smaller puppies. She's the second smallest puppy. Orange is the smallest. But she and Orange are the two biggest talkers. So I guess they decided that they had to make up for their small size by making themselves heard. She's never upset or uncomfortable or anything like that, but she definitely does have a lot to say quite often. And whenever Laynee's within sight or within scent, then she sets up quite a squawk saying, hey, you better get over here and feed me, even if she's just been fed. And Green Collar Girl's coming in at 830 grams, or 813, sorry. So we'll just put her back here, and Silver is upside down again. Black is half upside down. Orange would be upside down, except for the bed has her sort of collapsing on herself. So all of this means that this litter is very well taken care of by Laynee. Laynee does a really, really good job of keeping them spotlessly clean. They're well fed, and she's always attending to their needs, which is wonderful. Now, we had moved the puppies into the Doodle Den. We usually move them out of the maternity ward and into the Doodle Den just after they're 3 weeks old. It was a couple of days early, but they were up on all fours, and we wanted to see if everybody just would be more comfortable with more space. The puppies were fine with it. They didn't care whatsoever. But Laynee did not like the move at all. Laynee's so protective of the puppies that she found it really annoying and upsetting to have the other adult dogs, because we use our Doodle Den for adult dogs to go in and out of the backyard. That's where the doggy door is. That's where everybody eats. And we have a couple of older puppies that are here in the house as well. And so she just found that to be too stressful. She didn't enjoy it. She wasn't settling down, and she was constantly sort of pacing around. So we don't want that for her, and we don't want that for the puppies either. So we've moved her back into the maternity ward. But what we have done is we've increased her nest size substantially. These puppies are up on all four legs. They need to be able to move around, start building their muscles, and pretty soon they are going to start interacting with one another. And I expect in our next video, we'll hear a couple of growls and seeing them playing with one another too. So we have to be mindful of that and make sure we're giving them enough physical space. So we'll leave it for a little longer and we'll try again, and we'll let Laynee tell us when she's comfortable. We may have to convince her to be comfortable if she's still thinking she doesn't like that after another 10 days or so, because then they will need more room. But hopefully by then she'll be a little bit more relaxed. And we also plan to start introducing the puppies to solid food in a few days. Once they're on some solid food, then mom tends to back away a bit and the puppies start to become a bit independent. But we'll wait till next week to tell you more about that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing the kids and getting a little bit of information on them all. And why don't you let me know in the comments, which color do you like the best? Which pattern really catches your eye? Is it the gleaming ebony of light blue? Is it the wild and crazy colors of yellow color girl? Or is it the really beautiful rich dark reds that are in the litter? There's a lot of choice in this litter, but I'd love to hear from you and let me know which one you prefer. I think it's always interesting to know what everybody thinks is their favorite color. I have my favorites, but in this litter I have so many. I think I'd have to say each one of them is probably a favorite in some way. And of course, if you have any questions or you want to know more about color and pattern, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments as well. I'm always happy to answer your questions. And if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up. And maybe if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll see everybody here next week.